4th edition of FICCI Cascade Anti-Smuggling Day, an opportunity of leaders, policymakers and stakeholders to discuss strategies to strengthen enforcement, raise awareness and safeguard economies. The event opened with a special address by Mr. Anil Rajput, Chairman FICCI Cascade.
Smuggling is anti-progress. It is an enemy of development and creates conditions that undo years of hard work and planning. Therefore, it is our collective responsibility to not only join hands, but also work towards devising a comprehensive, implementable, and dynamic strategy that increasingly arrests the viral spread of this pure evil force. In pursuit of building a robust global initiative against the menace of smuggling, FICCI Cascade in 2022 took the lead and marked 11th February as Anti-Smuggling Day. This day aims to bring together all relevant stakeholders, including enforcement agencies, to foster a shared understanding of the scope of the problem and explore opportunities for stronger cooperation and coordination. Smugglers exploit regulatory gaps and difference between countries by engaging in outright smuggling, misdeclaration, and under-invoicing, securing an unfair advantage over legitimate businesses. The India story, especially over the last decade, has been one that is unparalleled and one that promises to usher even better results in the times to come. Our overall image, largely because of sound and visionary government policies and focus on their implementation, along with the resolute and robust spirit of our private sector and citizens, has undergone a sea change.
This was followed by a panel discussion, breaking the smuggling chain, advancing security and economic stability.
Now, Anil sir, I'll start the conversation with you. The World Economic Forum indicates that the economic bleed that results from smuggling activity globally is upwards of $2.2 trillion. That represents over 3% of global GDP, just to put that fact and figure into perspective. Sir, give us a sense of the sheer magnitude of the problem closer to home, within the Indian subcontinent itself.
FICCI carried out a study last year in just 5 sectors, and the estimated loss of revenue to the industry was accounted for about 7 lakh crores. So if we were to do a study for the entire country and every sector, the figure will be mind-boggling. It's a serious problem, and government is aware of it, and several actions are being taken by the government to address this growing menace. But as you very correctly said, that the problem is not limited to India, it is a global problem. And globally, we all have to come together and address this challenge.
The approach and way to tackle each border depends on the kind of border, the terrain, the security perceptions, and the relationship with that country.
Right.
And also the peculiarities of the border. For example, with Bangladesh, we have a large riverine border. So government has proactively tackled that. Even have the case where one house is, half the house is in India, half the house is in Bangladesh. And there's cultivation across the fence. So with China, there's no demarcated border. So approach and management depends on the kind of border. And border management encompasses border security, border infrastructure, border population, the economy of the border, and perception management.
I think it's a kudos to Mr. Anil Rajput for flagging, and I would not only say flagging, red flagging the Anti-Smuggling Day, because this is of such a vital concern that not only does it affect our industry, the economy. I mean, today we are at the cusp of becoming the 4th and maybe the 3rd largest economy in a very short time. And if we are not able to curb this in a major way, I guess it's going to affect our industry, it's going to affect our output, it's going to affect our employment. And if it gives rise to such mafias or mafiosis or organized crime, this is going to kind of put a question mark on the law of the land, which is of so vital a concern if we talk of a strong country, a country whose voice is heard today at all platforms, whether you talk of G7, G20, I2U to SCO, BRICS, or whatever you call.
This was one of the major challenge we have, whether we are upgrading ourselves to the latest technology, latest tools, whether we have the required skill sets to do that kind of analysis. This is absolutely a very important part of the enforcement activities which we do. But I still feel the more important aspect, as we have all heard from my other distinguished panelists, about the challenges we have at the borders. It is still the sharing of information between the agencies and the operational coordination between the agencies at the field, which leads us to a greater results.
This was followed by an intriguing panel discussion, Unified Enforcement Against Smuggling, Strategies and Cross-Agency Synergies.
Tech intelligence, human intelligence, and the coordination of all the agencies together is very important. We, in DRI, had set up something called National Anti-Smuggling Coordination Center, SCOD, which has all the agencies working in the field of smuggling, as in the lines of the NCOD, which is for the narcotics, and the FCOD, which is for the fake Indian currency note. So that way, there are a lot of mechanisms which is in place. And without much ado, I would like to give the floor to the co-panelists who are here. And to start with, I would request the DGCIB to mention briefly the kind of the protocol which is in place, which ensures and mandates all the agencies to share information or intel with the agency, and how the agency, through its own REICs, spreads across all agencies through the India.
Whatever we as government agencies bring on the table, why I'm saying I want to begin with complimenting them, they bring a different dimension to the concept of smuggling. Why I say this is that they've carried out some very interesting studies. I had requested Mr. Rajput, so I begin with complimenting Mr. Anil Rajput and his team of Cascade for doing these studies and to identify critical areas and industries such as mobile phones, packaged foods, fast-moving packaged goods, then in the manufacturing sector, and also of tobacco and gold. So smuggling is not only confined to things that we agencies in the central government concentrate on, it is also far spread amongst various goods.
ICDs which are engaged in clearing containerized cargo are very sensitive, and the cargoes coming into 40 feet and 20 feet containers are really difficult to take out all the cargoes and examine them threadbare, you can say the each packets, and find out if there are some concealment or some misuses are taking place is challenged. So profiling of the importers, profiling of the CHS are also one of the major area we have been doing. And I can say that if we do our work sincerely, we can achieve the good success.
I will just tell about the peculiarities of the Indo-Myanmar border. Indo-Myanmar border is a porous border. There is no obstacle system, there is no demarcation on ground. Though the border fencing has now started, and with full focused, and most likely it will be completed at the earliest. There are challenges of the respective states with respect to the construction of border fence. And you all will appreciate any border which is a porous border and has people who have got linkages, ethnic linkages across. These are the same families, same clan, same tribe, who are this side of the border and across the border. And so the flow of culture, tradition, business, everything will prevail. And in the absence of a fence, the movement becomes unregulated. Our boots on ground, the deployment is very thin. Development along the border areas is an ongoing process. Still, it's a remote location. There are various areas in which the coverage of the local administration, police, takes time.
This was followed by a panel discussion, building alliances with global partners to combat smuggling, initiatives and solutions.
The landscape of global smuggling is divided into goods, services, and digital assets. The global value of all these combined has been estimated to be something between $3 trillion to $15 trillion, depending upon what kind of assessment system we are having. It can be divided between tangible and intangible, trade-based money laundering, and among illicit smuggling, it includes drugs, we can speak a lot about it, wildlife, arms, humans, cultural property, and among intangible, it includes IPR violations. I'm very happy we have an expert from IPR, Mr. Nakano, who will be speaking about it separately. Then more than that is virtual digital assets, which includes cryptocurrencies, non-fungible tokens, decentralized financing, gaming tokens, which has been mentioned by CEIB just now, and more importantly, the recent trend which has been seen in the programmable assets. These programmable assets are the latest threat which support the borderless smuggling.
Effective information sharing between countries, cross-border efforts at combating smuggling and other like narco-terrorism, trade in illicit goods. In fact, now we have to expand the scope and look at digital piracy, if you could call it that. I mean, you have instances now of games, skilled online games spreading across borders. We have national laws, and sometimes those national laws are being violated by other platforms or platforms in other domains that take advantage of either your lax laws or no laws at all, or your very strict laws, whether it's related to taxation or regulating these games. So I think we need to really broaden or widen the scope of how we combat illegal trade, not just in goods, but also in services.
I would like to mention the importance of awareness of rising activities. Importance of awareness. That if a consumer never buy counterfeit products, counterfeiters have no incentive to produce them. Consumers are therefore powerful decision makers. Awareness rising activities are important to encourage and increase consumers' reluctance to buy counterfeiting products.
WCO itself, World Customs Organization itself, is, merging some of their verticals and trying to look at money laundering, trying to look at trafficking and sharing data, and now also doing, with the help of DRI, operations within countries which are vulnerable with regard to drugs, with regard to smuggling. So I think every world organization needs to take heed of this menace. It is probably at the bottom, and it is being used by many non-state actors and many rogue states to destabilize developed countries as well as countries like India, which are now coming to the forefront of attention of the world.
This was followed by valedictory remarks by Mr. Brij Bhushan Gupta, Additional Director General, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence.
I commend FICCI on this occasion for this commendable initiative of engaging all stakeholders through Cascade platform to discuss and tackle the growing menace of unfair trade practices, such as counterfeiting and smuggling. Events like today's event, pivotal and important in bringing together policymakers, international institutions, enforcement agencies, industry members, media, and the consumers. They reinforce our collective commitment to curbing this scourge that affects all the countries worldwide. I would like to inform the audience that I'm a regular reader and beneficiary of the FICCI Anti-Smuggling Bulletin, which I get absolutely regularly in our office. Thank you so much. On going through them, I am also aware of the trends, which FICCI very, very painstakingly, including the newspaper cuttings and everything, puts together. And thank you so much. We are a beneficiary of your publication. I can attest to the value of all such platforms, which has happened today. Today's panel discussions, featuring the best minds of law enforcement, which I see before us, they have provided profound insights and complex layers of smuggling. I extend my congratulations and gratitude to FICCI for bringing such illustrious speakers on one platform to bring all the shares, all the thoughts to us. Smuggling, counterfeiting, and illicit trade, it undermines the legitimate trade. Such activities erode trust among the trade. They frustrate the compliant traders who otherwise want to follow the law diligently. Drug trafficking, money laundering, illegal trade in wildlife, natural resources, arms, ammunition, and other contraband and prohibited items pose even a much more serious threat to our country.
This was followed by an award ceremony honoring individuals in digital art competition in the Stand Against Smuggling initiative. Haresh Jaiprakash Dhanu was awarded third prize in digital art competition in the Stand Against Smuggling initiative. Mugaithanebu Nimui was awarded second prize in digital art competition in the Stand Against Smuggling initiative. Akanksha was awarded first prize in digital art competition in the Stand Against Smuggling initiative. Aman Singh Negi was awarded consolation prize in digital art competition in the Stand Against Smuggling initiative. Aditi was awarded consolation prize in digital art competition in the Stand Against Smuggling initiative. This was followed by the concluding remarks by Mr. P.C. Jha, Advisor, FICCI Cascade and former Chairman, Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs.
Enforcement of anti-smuggling laws coupled with severe penalties for offenders can serve as a deterrent. Additionally, raising public awareness about the consequences of smuggling and promoting ethical consumer behavior can reduce demand for illicit goods. Anti-Smuggling Day serves as a reminder of the need for collective action, not just by the law enforcement agencies, but by all sectors of society to combat this widespread illegal activity. I am sure this initiative of Cascade will go a long way in raising awareness and highlighting the problems of smuggling. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a great pleasure to hear Sri Brijbhushan Gupta today. The DRI, as the country's premier enforcement agency, has been instrumental in safeguarding India's economic and national security by preventing smuggling and other illicit activities. DRI has intercepted massive consignments of gold, cigarettes, narcotics, foreign currency, weapons, ammunitions, counterfeit goods, etc. I convey Cascade's best compliments to the commitment of DRI to anti-smuggling work. I would also like to express my sincere appreciation to Sri Anil Rajput, chairperson of FICCI Cascade, whose guidance has always given the much needed bedrock to Cascade. His steadfast commitment has brought together all experts at one platform, focusing collaboration in the quest for effective solutions to the global challenge of smuggling. We are honored to host distinguished speakers and senior government dignitaries for their active involvement to this important cause. Their presence has been instrumental in facilitating collective action and sharing best practices in the fight against smuggling. Once again, I express my sincere thanks to all the speakers for their valuable contributions. We request your constant support in taking this initiative to the UN General Assembly so that one day of the year gets earmarked as the Anti-Smuggling Day at the global level. I congratulate in advance all winners of the digital art poster making competition and also highly admire the endeavor of all the participants in the competition on a subject not very familiar to them. Our heartfelt gratitude extends to the participants, including friends from the media, for their constant support in covering our initiatives. It is of paramount importance that the insights and discussions shared here reach a broader readership and audience. I thank everyone present here today for taking out their valuable time to attend this prestigious event organized by the Cascade. Thank you all.
The fourth edition of FICCI Cascade Anti-Smuggling Day culminated on high-voltage discussions, pride and a sense of achievement. Though the curtains came down, but the search for excellence by the Times Group will go on.